Hey, welcome back to First Step Fitness. This is week 4 of the Step 1 series. So if you've been following along, we did full body the first week, then upper body, last week was lower body, and now we are to core day. So I hope that if you've been following along, you've been kind of getting into a routine and doing some of the videos each week so that you're getting the habit formed of getting active. So this is also like all the other step 1 videos. There's no equipment and it's still all seated. And then next week we'll be doing the stretching video as kind of recovery type option for you. So not really as much of a workout as just to keep you mobile. So that'll be coming next week, and that will round out the step 1 series completely, and then we'll move on to step 2, which will be some sitting alternated with standing exercises to work your way up to standing exercises. So this is going to be especially important for having a chair where you can sit up, hopefully. This will probably be the week to start trying to sit up away from the back of your chair as much as you can, because it's kind of hard to do these exercises without sitting forward. So do your best and just pause the video if you need to take breaks and sit back and rest for a little bit and then jump back in. So the first one we're gonna do, you've seen before, this is the modified sit-up. So you're just gonna put your hands up here or here. This adds a little extra challenge just because you have more weight up at the top of your head. So either here or here, and bending forward and then back up. So we did this before in the full body video. I almost kept my dogs in here for the video. For the first time, I was gonna take the chance, but I just think they would jump all over me the whole time, and I don't know how to edit videos. I just take them all in one shot and then post them, so I didn't want to risk having to start completely over if they were just jumping all over me the entire time. Okay, let's do 2 more. And rest. So like I said, you can try that with your hands down here if you feel like even just holding your arms up here is too tiring within itself for your arms, if not your core, and then you can work your way up to putting your hands up at your head. The next one you have also seen before. These are the twists for your core. So again, you can have your arms down here, but ultimately I'd like you to have them up here on your head, and you're just twisting like you're looking over your shoulder. And I mentioned before that you might not be able to turn as far as you think you might, like you should be able to, and that can be either from just loss of mobility in your spine or the muscles around your spine. So if you keep moving, you'll probably gain some of that mobility back and flexibility, and you might be able to push further as time goes on. But it's really good to work on this rotational mobility. It seems kind of like a, well duh, like we can turn around, but if you can't turn around, it can be really hard for things like when you're driving and you need to look behind you before you pull into the other lane. If you've lost the mobility to turn like this, that's gonna be a problem. So it's good, it's a practical thing to have. 2 more. And rest. I felt that in my shoulders a little bit, keeping my arms up there. The next one that we're gonna do is not something you've done before. I'm calling these diagonals. You can call them whatever you want to. So basically, you're gonna put your hands together and bring them down, and then just up and across. So when you're down here, you'll feel your core right here, and then whenever you're up here, you'll feel it along this side. So just kind of swinging back and forth. Let's do one more. And now we'll switch sides. This is another one that is good for working on your rotational mobility in your spine. You can probably see now how some of this would be a little harder leaning back against your chair. I'm just popping my back this whole time as I'm just changing positions and rotating my spine. It's like I'm the chiropractor. One more. And rest. I've actually never done that exercise before in this way, seated, and I could feel it. I like that one a lot. And that kind of is a modification of, you've seen people do what's called a Russian twist, where they lean back and kind of go side to side with a weight or without. That's kind of a modification where we're not sitting back like that yet. Next one you have seen before as well. This is the side bend. So this is the one where you're just acting like you're trying to pick something off the floor without leaning forward. So you're keeping your chest up and looking forward as you lean. And this is working your obliques a lot. Just go as far as you can without falling over. So hopefully you've been working on building some habits, like scheduling out when you want to do your workouts for the week. It's better to be intentional and kind of pre-plan them like you would plan an appointment, rather than just saying, oh, like, yeah, this week I'm going to work out 3 times at some point. That just doesn't tend to stick as well. It's much easier to talk yourself out of them and just be like, oh, I'll get to it later, I'm busy. So try to be more intentional with it, and you'll probably notice that you're a little more compliant. 2 more. And rest. I know that I've been doing my workouts in the morning, because if I don't, while we're stuck at home, I seem to talk myself out of them throughout the day, because then I'll just have all these other things that take precedence. So if I just do it right in the morning, I don't have time to talk myself out of it. So I don't love it because you're tired in the morning, but otherwise I just don't seem to be very consistent. So I recommend just picking a time that you're going to be most likely to complete the workout. The next one is a modification. It's kind of like a blend of 2 together. This is called the sit-up twist. So hands here or here, and you're going to do the sit-up, and then twist to one side, and then back down, and then twist to the other. So it's just a combo. Only got 2 more exercises after this. This is another video that's not quite as long. The longest one was the full body, just because there's more to choose from. So you can always do these videos more than once if you feel like you didn't get enough out of it the first time. And remember, with everything, we're leaning forward, so please keep your back flat. Don't curl your upper back when you lean forward, because that then defeats the purpose of what you're trying to do. It doesn't make it about your core anymore at that point. One more. Okay. So you got 2 more exercises. This one, I'm trying to decide what I want to call it. Maybe just call it triangles. So it's sort of like the diagonals that we were doing, but you're gonna come up to center and then down on the side. So this is an even closer modification of the Russian twist that I was telling you about earlier. So you can be all the way upright as you're doing it, but the further you lean back a little bit, not against your couch, that doesn't count. If you're leaning back without something behind you, the further you lean back, the more challenging it will be. So you can kind of try it sitting up and then see how it is leaning back a bit to add an extra challenge. So just up to center and to the sides. So there's lots of people that struggle with consistency, like they'll do pretty well, like they'll go hard for like 3 days and then just totally fall off the wagon for 2 weeks. And that's easy to do, especially if you kind of like burn yourself out on those 3 days. So just kind of think of consistency as you are the decisions that you make more than half of the time. So if 49% of the time you're inconsistent, but then 51% you are consistent, then you've beat yourself at the game, or you have beat the game. And that means you're consistent because you are doing what you have set out to do more than half of the time. So therefore, that is the bigger portion of what you're doing, and you're consistent. So you only have to beat yourself at your own game half the time, or a little more than half the time, to be consistent. 2 more. And rest. I can feel that a little bit leaning back. You got 1 more exercise, and then you're all done with your core day. This one is called just lean backs. So this is a progression to a regular sit-up, and this is the one you really can't be sitting back against a chair when you're doing. So all you're gonna do is just lean back and then come forward. And when you lean back, you'll feel your core engaged to prevent you from falling. So you can have your hands up here if you're feeling advanced. You can have them here for intermediate, and then true beginner would be your hands on your thighs, so that if you need a little help, you can pull with your arms, but try to use your core to pull you up. This is probably the most advanced exercise of this particular workout. Hopefully you can feel your core stabilizing you a little bit when you lean back. And if you don't feel that, lean back a little further. You're probably just not going back far enough. And this might be a challenge if you're in a chair with a back. I realize I don't have a chair with a back. So just, scoot as far forward on the chair that you can so that you're able to lean back. Let's do 2 more. Alright, that's it. You have completed the core workout. So that's a whole month of videos. We started this a month ago for the Step 1 series. So this is all of the exercise type workouts that will be in Step 1. And then, like I said, I'll do the stretch video next week as your recovery. And then you have definitely a week's worth of exercises to do if you wanted to do 4 days of working out and then 1 day of recovery, which would be the stretch. And If there's 7 days in a week and you're working out for 4 of them and 3 are rest, then that's more than 50%, therefore you're being consistent. So that's the perfect number of videos for you to be consistent if that's what you want to do. And yeah, let me know if you like this video and if you like the other videos and how you feel about moving up to step 2, those of you who feel like you're ready for that. So good luck.